What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Wake Before the Day podcast. This is Clark.
And Bobby Jean. So glad you're here. Let's get started.
Hey, what's up, everyone? We hope you had a fantastic weekend, and we're ready for another week.
Fantastic week coming up.
That's right. It's going to be great. And we're continuing to look at the Proverbs and take the wisdom of Solomon, trying to apply that to our life as we follow the Holy Spirit. Today, we're looking at Proverbs 24 because it is August 24. Today, we're talking about two verses that go hand in hand, verse 17 and verse 29. And it deals with us and people that really annoy us. You could even call them an enemy.
Yeah.
People that frustrate us. We know you got a list. We got a list too. Saying, God, change our heart. Mm-hmm. So let's look at what Proverbs 24 has to say. Mm-hmm. Bobby, you want to read verse 17?
Sure. Do not gloat when your enemy falls. When they stumble, do not let your heart rejoice.
Now, let's all have a moment where we're real with ourselves. We've got these people in our life where we rejoice when they fall. We've got some celebrity that annoys you. You've got some politician, some sports team, maybe a family member. I don't know who. But I'm not going to lie to you. There are certain people and teams out there when they mess up, you're kind of like, my flesh is like, yes, ha, they lost. It's good. Eat that. And this Proverb's telling me that's not best. Mm-hmm. That's not best for my heart. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Another teaching that comes from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verses 27 and 28 sounds like this. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. So again, not just talking about loving and blessing and listening, and praying for people that you care about, but actually for people that you really have a hard heart toward. You know, it's not just looking at them and trying to get through the day or trying to get through the moment. But really, the Bible's telling us that we need to pray and bless and really consider these people.
Yeah. It's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah.
But there's another verse later on in the proverb that talks about this again, and it's verse 29. It says this. It says, do not say, I'll do to them as they have done to me. I'll pay them back for what they did. Now, if you've read the Bible before, if you've been around the teachings of Jesus, you should have a bell going off, ding, 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 that Jesus talks about this, and he actually gives us teaching as to how we're actually supposed to conduct ourselves. Mm-hmm. And again, in Luke 6, this is what Jesus says.
Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them.
Yeah. So kind of like Bobby said, it's easy to love those who love you. We can do that. But Jesus is saying go the extra mile, bless them. And then 1 Peter 3:9, just another verse that comes up, and it says, don't repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing. Because as you do this, you're called to do that so you may inherit a blessing. Mm-hmm. Jesus is saying you got to go the higher road, take the higher way, and bless them and love them. So I think that we could all agree. And it's like, yeah, Jesus, this is great teaching. Proverbs, this sounds good.
Right. This sounds good.
But I don't know if I really want to live this out or if this is best. Mm-hmm. So I guess a question we're asking ourselves is why? Like, all right, Jesus, convince me. If I'm supposed to be nice to people who persecute me, talk bad about me, hurt me, why is this in my benefit?
Mm-hmm. Right, we're kind of making light about it and kind of like giggling a little bit, but really, I mean, if you've been hurt by someone or if you felt like you've been wronged or, you know, if you really have people in your life that it's hard for you to picture being kind to, let alone blessing and praying for, you know, it's not, we're not really laughing about it. And why, like Clark said, why is this the best way is because our hearts were not created to function like this. We're not functioning properly when we have all this resentment and bitterness and when we have just kind of a root that we're giving the devil a foothold in. Our hearts stop functioning the way that they were created to, and we become just totally enslaved. You know, then we're then we kind of step into, we're not only feeling a certain way towards someone, but then we're actually acting and behaving a certain way if we let those kind of negative emotions take hold and get a foothold, get a root.
And like Bobby said, it's like those things are not natural to our heart. They're natural now because we're in sin, but that was not part of God's intent when he created. It's like that's not how your mind, your heart, your emotions are supposed to work, that they're corrupted by sin. Now you have to follow the way of Jesus. They're not supposed to be there. It's wrong.
And so, I mean, just one more just kind of way to reiterate it is we're not saying don't have that God gave us emotions. Emotions are good. They are inherently something that God gave us from the beginning. But like Clark said, sin makes them another thing that we need to surrender unto the Lord, that we put on the altar and we say, okay, God, I don't know how to use this because I'm going to use it the wrong way. So I'm going to hand it over to you and I'm going to surrender it to you. And then often what we find is that that the Lord will lead you back to the origin, the root. You know, what happened? Is there trauma? Is there hurt? Is there unforgiveness? You know, why is this emotion coming up and causing us to not function, our hearts not to function right? And so just speaking of working properly and functioning right, Clark reminded me of a really lovely story of a lawnmower and gas, and a story that I had told him a long time ago. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up. So I grew up out on an acreage out of town a couple miles, and I don't even know why. I would like to say that it was, you know, my nature or my character to do things like mow the lawn without being told, but it really wasn't. So I don't know why I was mowing the lawn with my parents not saying like, Bobby, go out and mow, or checking the gas for me. I don't know. But anyway, I was mowing and ran out of gas. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I know where the gas is. You know, it's out in the Quonset, and I know where the gas cap, you know, gas tank is. So this is easy. Just go get the gas, fill up the mower, keep mowing. Well, where I grew up, we had, you know, you have a weed eater, and my dad had a chainsaw. I just had lots of stuff with lots of different kinds of fuel. Well, little did I know that I actually filled our entire riding lawnmower with unleaded gas, where you're supposed to put the oil in. And so if you know anything, there's a little picture, you know, of a little gas cap. And I was like, oh, perfect. This is where the gas goes. No, that's actually an oil can. And so thank goodness my mom pulled in the drive and was like, hey, you know, what are you doing? You get the gas? You ran out of gas or what? And I was like, yeah, just filling it up. And mom's like, okay, well, that's wrong. So don't turn it on and you're going to blow up. So the lawnmower would definitely have not functioned properly had I turned it on with the gas or the oil full of gas. It was not good.
That's right. So kind of tying us back to our hearts is that our hearts aren't made to work with anger, vengeance, resentment, bitterness in them. It's poison. My grandpa's always telling me, Clark, you know, unforgiveness and anger, it's like drinking poison hoping the other person dies. It's like, it's just not how it works, and it's not good for you. And so as we talked about this, one of the encouragements we want to give you that we always battle ourselves is like a lot of the time when it comes to blessing your enemies, loving your enemies, wanting what's best for them, is it's a battle in your mind. And oftentimes there's storytelling that is closely connected to forgiving.
Yeah.
And so just want to encourage you, focus on what is real.
Right.
Focus on the love of God. Focus on the facts of the situation, whatever is going on. Because if you're like Bobby and I, sometimes you can kind of go down a rabbit hole and start telling stories. Well, I wonder if they told this person this, and I wonder if they did that. And if I would have talked to him and confronted him here, then this is what would happen. This is what I would say to him. And it's like,
you're just vilifying and
other people, you're
just creating other things in this internal atmosphere, you know, anxiety and all kinds of stuff then.
And it's just not, our hearts aren't built to carry that.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, we're called to forgive other people, and just know that it's more than a one-time event. In that there's this lie out there that says forgiving is forgetting. That's the farthest thing from the truth. If you've really been hurt, that memory is going to be there. It's going to take a while to heal from it. So when those memories come up and instigate other emotions, you got to give that over to the Lord again and again and again.
Right.
And you just trust that Jesus' way is best when it comes to loving our enemies.
Yeah, so just to recap a little bit, we talked about Proverbs 24:17 and 24:29, and each of them tell us not to rejoice when our enemy fails and tell us that we don't need to pay them back. We don't need to do what they did to us, whatever that might be. And so easy to say, hard to live into, but that's our encouragement today. And read in Luke chapter 6 or 1 Peter 2, some more encouragement there about living into the way that Jesus invites us with loving and blessing and praying for our enemies. So think about who that is in your life and who those people might be that you need to kind of hand over to the Lord, or maybe kind of dig in to do some more healing yourself. So thanks so much for listening, you guys. Feel free to read Proverbs 24, share around your table, share with your kids, share online if you feel led. And we look forward to finishing strong all the way through the month with you guys. So have a good week. God bless you.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine on you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his countenance toward you and give you his peace. Have a great day.